Hey, good morning, Valuable Coaching. We're back today with Kara Hill, recruiting coordinator. And today we're going to look at how she teaches kids to create a brand and the importance of kind of branding yourself and knowing that that is something that's going to carry you through, and the use of social media and the power of it to create this positive, image and brand. And also then the importance of working together as a family. This, as a student athlete, the student athlete should not be on their own. It shouldn't just be up to a recruiting coordinator. It's up to the whole collective, the coordinator, the coaches, the player, and the parents. The parents definitely need to be involved. And so we want to see her take today, and then we'll let you know what's coming up tomorrow.
I think that's the big part. I think the other thing that athletes need to be thinking about more and more, and all of us need to be thinking about more and more, is we're all a walking brand. When you think about social media, when you think of the impact and how it brings the whole world together, and really educating on how you can create so many amazing opportunities for yourself by thinking outside of the box and creating some really good content. We've had athletes that have had some pretty significant exposure just being on our platforms. And we get hit up by coaches every day that are able to see somebody that they didn't potentially know about. And I think that as athletes, they need to start thinking about that as well. There's some interesting stuff coming through the pipeline in terms of how the NCAA is looking at legislation and allowing athletes to get paid on their likeness, and that's coming. So even for my own daughter, she's only 6, but I created her Instagram account, and we are, doing everything humanly possible to just start thinking outside of the box and really growing a brand. So it's just a different time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To piggyback a little bit back on what you said earlier, I can totally vouch for what you're saying. And I think in today's world, grit a few years ago was the real buzzword. And I think it's still big, but it just seems to me building life skills right now and building the whole person. And every coach we've interviewed talks about that. And it is amazing that you're doing that. But not only you're doing it and you're saying it, I've had the luxury to shadow you, and I watched you for a weekend and I saw it with my own 2 eyes. And also too, I mean, this is unique for me because I've never been one of your clients. I've never worked alongside you, and you contact me every Thanksgiving, you contact me during the holidays and just say, how are you doing? And you check in with me. And I think that that's something that you also stress in your company and with your clients too, because you truly care about them. And like you said it perfectly. I'm going to care about my athletes for the next 50 years and set them up. And I think that that's unique. And I hope that, the viewers, and I hope your clients value that and, see the value of that. Cause I think that that's going to not only help them in college, but years to come. Um, but one quick question I had for you is, what is maybe something you see recruits do right now that aren't your clients where you're like, yeah, that's not good. You probably need a recruiting coordinator. What are some things that athletes are doing right now that it's a big no-no?
Probably not engaging on a consistent basis with coaches and falling off kind of the beaten path. You've got to run a really consistent marketing campaign. And if you don't, somebody else will.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think, everybody makes the same mistakes. When we get a client that comes to us by their junior year, we'll ask, what have you done? And a lot of times we're having to clean up a mess. They've sent out emails that say, hi, coach, my name is Kara Hill. I'm an outside hitter. I played for, T Street Volleyball Club on the 17s, and I'm really interested in such and such school. Okay, great. You sent the same email that everybody sends in the entire country. So that's just not going to get you anywhere. What else you got? And you'll look at the flow of the communication. We have the athletes, they forward everything. So we see everything. When our athletes are going through the process, they're emailing the coaches and the players forward us everything. And we go through and we really look and we evaluate. How are you answering? Kids are not just equipped to answer questions thoroughly. And that might sound really silly, but I mean, the lack of writing skills, and I'm talking even honor students and AP students, the lack of ability to communicate when it comes to writing an email is pretty staggering. And so if you're a parent and you're putting this all on your child and you're quote unquote saying, well, it's their future, and if they want it, then they've got to be on the ball. I think that's a huge mistake. We see that a lot. And we'll tell the parents, like, listen, I get you. I feel you. I love that you want your kids to take ownership, but you know, some of these kids are juggling 3 AP classes. They're up until 2:00 in the morning. You want them to run an email marketing campaign to 75 programs for one of the biggest decisions of their entire life, where they could potentially meet their spouse, where they're either going to get into debt or you are, or maybe they get a full scholarship. But how about making it count? We just have a different philosophy. So we try and bring people together, bring families together, learn how to communicate. And I will say, I would say God's greatest blessing that I've been blessed with is the ability to communicate and to do so clearly, because there's a lot of people that are just not blessed with that gift. And so I find that one of the biggest mistakes is they're missing things. I'll tell you this. I can't tell you how many conversations I've had with very talented players who have missed out on opportunities, and they were on a list and a coach was saying, hey, you know, we'd love to, you know, offer, but we really need to make sure you've seen the campus, or we need to make sure that the recruit has seen the campus. Right now, there's coaches that are speaking somewhat in code because of the political climate. They're not wanting to just come outwardly and say, you need to get your ass on campus and figure out whether or not you want to go here. That's not happening because they feel they don't want to put you at jeopardy. They don't, you know, they're wanting to be safe. They're being told not to encourage that. But the reality is that the athletes that are being successful in this recruiting process are being proactive, are getting on campus. Whether you can meet with the coach or not, it's irrelevant. It's like you've got to go do your research and make sure that this is a school that you would want to be at. And if it is, you got to get on the ball. So I'm finding lack of communication, the inability to communicate at all, and then not listening to social cues. And these kids are just not all trained to think like adults. You know, we have more life experience and wisdom. So those are the things that I'm finding that are affecting and negatively impacting a lot of recruits right now.
You brought up something interesting that I've seen as a teacher is that the writing skills, like you said, they may be really good at writing essays or being an advanced, you know, an AP English class. But when it comes to writing emails, I mean, I get these kind of emails all the time as a teacher from students where I know the student's really good at language arts, but they write their email like it's a, you know, a tweet or, you know, like it's an Instagram post. And so I think they've gotten so conditioned to think that that's the way that they can communicate via email. It doesn't seem the same. Do you ever have people actually do handwritten letters? I'm just curious if that's still something that you think is impactful at all, if an actual handwritten letter showed up on a coach's desk from a player or not.
We always recommend a handwritten letter after you visited campus, especially if you had the opportunity to meet with the coach. We'll always say, send a handwritten thank you note.
Awesome. Yeah.
Good for you. That's a great life skill.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So how involved do you think the parents should be in recruiting?
Helicopter parent.
And why?
There's $250,000 on the line.
So helicopter parent with you and the child, or also helicopter parent with the college coach?
Not with the college coach, but ensuring that the work is actually getting done. We lay out a strategy for a family. We'll say, sophomore year, this is what we're doing. Junior year, you're this skill set. And it comes down to their skill set too, and like the level of programs that they're targeting. So there's a method to the madness. So we can look at a kid and go, okay, I compute, right? Everything that they're looking for. I want engineering. I am looking for, a smaller school. I want the East Coast, whatever. So we calculate and we figure out what schools we need to target. We create that target list of schools. And then because we know the coaches personally, we're saying, okay, this is what you need to do and this is how to deliver. You can tell a kid all day long, this is what you need to do, but it doesn't mean they're going to do it. Even if they want it. If they're managing AP courses, and some kids this is a lot. It's a lot. What we tell people to do, this is a lot of work. So I tell people that before they hire us, like, yes, we're going to tell you everything you have to do, but you have to do it, because a coach doesn't want to hear from me. Like, yes, they want to hear from me. Yes, I have relationships. Great. But if you don't show genuine interest, it doesn't matter if I call that coach and tell them how fantastic you are. I could tell them till I'm blue. It doesn't matter if you don't show genuine interest. So we talk about the importance of genuine interest and follow through. And I tell parents all the time, there's either Willy Wonka's golden ticket if you want to go to an Ivy League, or to a Haverford or a Chicago or an NYU. Fantastic. MIT. Okay, so you need your kid to take care of business in the classroom, and somebody in that household is going to have to step up and manage the email marketing campaign, because you can't expect your kid to do it all. They're just not capable of doing it all. The expectations on the parents are too high for the kids to follow through on this kind of campaign. And at the end of the day, you don't want them to send something stupid out. And that's what happens when they're tired. They're sending emails out at 2:00 in the morning because they've been up late for prepping for whatever exam, and they know they need to get their messages out. That's no way to go into a decision that impacts truly the rest of your life.
Yeah. In hearing all this, I'm just curious. I know for me, and looking at some of these, young ladies who are very excited to try and go play college sports, in this case, volleyball. Do you talk to them about trying to have some kind of balance between, having volleyball in school be 24/7 and still being able to enjoy being a, high school student?
Yes. What we talk about is right now, school and volleyball when you're under the age of 18 is magical. But when you turn 18 and you move out of mom and dad's house and you are surrounded by other temptations, you start to see your friends going to a basketball game or a football game, or maybe they are, going to travel and study abroad. You start to see things and realize that there's more to life than eat, sleep, breathe, study, volleyball. And it becomes a little more interesting. So are you sure you want this? So we paint a lot of pictures for our kids. We talk about all kinds of experiences and, really quiz them and just let them know, like, the world is at your fingertips right now. You literally, don't really have a whole lot of responsibility except for to take care of business in the classroom and to take care of business on the court and, take care of yourself. But, is this something you really want? And, I got to tell you, like, my elite kids, there's a big difference in the mental side of the game with the ones that are really equipped to play at a high level of Division I versus the ones that just want to play at a high level of Division I. There's some that are, really ready to play in that environment, and there's others that are just not going to be able to handle it.
All right. I'm so glad today that she talked about the fact that the parents need to be involved in this. And, not that they're the ones contacting coaches or doing, overwork with bothering college coaches, but that they need to understand that there's so much on a student athlete's plate who's in high school and playing club volleyball. They need to keep up with their grades. They still need to be able to be a kid too at sometimes. And they need to be able to keep up with this. And so trying to find that balance and having supportive parents is going to be vital. And so, again, her take on all this is that they help coach up everybody in the process and then make connections. They're not there to do the work for you. They want to see that you're ready to work. And then when you go off, you're going to represent not only yourself and your high school and your club, but you're also going to represent, Kara and their brand. So anyways, great, information today. Tomorrow, we're going to get into a little bit about some scenarios of what it looks like depending on your level and what you should do. And, this has just been, it's very enlightening to see. And again, it's just a reminder that we need to keep creating, these whole people with all these different characteristics. It can't just be about the volleyball. So we look forward to having you guys back again tomorrow. Please hit subscribe, like if you like the video. Listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts. And follow us on Instagram at Valuable Coaching. Hey, if you're looking for some great clothing, new logo, you need a great combination, go to onestoneapparel.com, onestoneapparel.com. They made us this awesome logo that fit better onto a great polo shirt, hoodie, and they got all kinds of different materials that you can choose from. So again, check them out, onestoneapparel.com. Email Dave at onestoneapparel.com. Let them know Valuable Coaching sent you. Hey guys, if you're looking for a cool new volleyball out there, check out Holo Gear. It's holographic balls, and they got also holographic clothing. It's really cool. If you take a look here, you can see, looks black and then it kind of glows in the dark. Very awesome gear. Check them out. Use our coupon code ValuableCoachIn. That's ValuableCoachIn, and get 15% off.